Let's head back to the voicemail of Truth and Reason.
I know that the media has been talking a lot about Jim Schwartz basically having a fit and talking about he's probably going to leave the Browns. With Monken being hired now, I think Monken should really sit down with Jim and have a conversation with him and try to get Jim to stick around. I think Jim should stick around for the defense that he's worked so hard to build anyway. Make the guy an assistant head coach or something, give him a little bit more responsibility, or maybe even restructure the guy's contract, throw a little bit more money at him for doing such a good job. I really hate to lose Schwartz as a defensive coordinator, but who would you even find to replace a guy like that? You call up old Greg Williams? Why not? Have a good one. Good Browns.
As always, appreciate all of the voicemails. Jared, I'm sure Todd Monken will reach out to him at some point. We haven't heard that that's happened. I don't know, what are your thoughts about, reinvigorating that and reestablishing that and mending the fences, if you will?
I think if it wasn't going to happen, things would have been different the last few days, just to be honest. I think there has to be some belief that Schwartz is coming back. If not, Anthony Weaver, for example, who I think was the top candidate, and if he had to choose between the Browns defense and the Ravens defense, probably was holding out for the Browns defense. But today it was announced that he's going to take over the defensive coordinator with Baltimore. And so there's a lot of names coming off the board, and we haven't heard a single peep about the Browns bringing in a single defensive-minded guy. That tells me either Todd Monken has everything lined up the minute Jim Schwartz says, I'm leaving, including maybe promoting Jason Tarver from linebacker coach into that defensive coordinator position, or it tells me that Jim Schwartz is returning and they're working on the details, and that is Monken's number one priority. I probably lean to it's Monken's number one priority to bring back Jim Schwartz. And there's just a process behind that for what Schwartz wants to do, because his other option at this point in time is honestly to retire. That's really his option. If he is not going to fulfill his contract, he cannot go coach anywhere else because all of the head coaching positions have been filled, unless he wants to go to college, which from what I understand, there are no defensive coordinator positions available there either.
The only other thing that I would throw out there, and I mentioned it earlier in the show, there's some talk that Vic Fangio may retire with the Eagles. That would be an attractive position for Schwartz to go to. And that might be something that the Browns let happen if Schwartz comes and says, look, I don't want to do this. That would be the only area that I see. The other thing I could see, after the Patriots finish with the Super Bowl, he could go become a consultant for the Patriots. He and Mike Vrabel have kind of switched off with each other that way the past few years.
Yeah, there are ways around it, absolutely. I think the Eagles are an interesting case, just given their defense. Do the Browns force them to give them a fourth-round pick, fifth-round pick for the defensive coordinator? I just don't know if Todd Monken and the Browns are just waiting around. It just doesn't seem to make sense for that organization. I mean, Monken has either interviewed or unofficially hired 5-6 guys on the offensive staff. But yeah, there are lots of things that Schwartz could kind of pull off, like you said, with the Patriots, as well as maybe the Eagles. I believe the Titans are still looking for their defense coordinator, so maybe they could do something there as well. It would be unusual for the Browns to sit this long after the Monken hire without starting the interview process on defense.